Welcome to a story like no other. A tale crafted by Kenji Miyazawa, one of Japan's most cherished literary figures. The Restaurant of Many Orders is a surreal and gripping adventure. Deep in a mysterious forest, two gentlemen stumble upon an elegant, yet eerily strange, restaurant. What starts as a simple quest for a meal quickly spirals into a journey of bizarre requests, growing tension, and shocking twists. Are you ready for a story that's darkly humorous, a little spooky, and completely unforgettable? Then step through the doors of the Wildcat House. But beware, the menu may not be what you expect. Two young gentlemen, dressed like British soldiers, walked cautiously through a deep, shadowy forest. Each carried a shiny rifle slung over his shoulder, and they were accompanied by two massive polar bear-like dogs. The ground beneath them crunched with dry leaves as they exchanged word.
This forest is ridiculous. Not a single bird or animal in sight. I just want to shoot something. Anything.
Yeah, a deer or some animal. I'd love to bag one soon.
This was an extraordinarily remote part of the mountains. Even the hunter who had been guiding them lost his way and disappeared. The forest was so wild, so eerie, that their two enormous dogs eventually collapsed. They staggered, whimpered weakly, foamed at the mouth, and died.
My dog! It was worth 2,400 yen! What a loss!
Mine was 2,800 yen. This is infuriating.
The first gentleman turned pale and glanced uneasily at the other.
I think we should turn back.
Yeah. It's getting colder, and I'm starving. Let's call it a day.
Agreed. On the way back, we can stop at yesterday's inn and pick up a mountain bird for 10 yen.
They had rabbits too. In the end, it'll be the same. Let's go.
But the real problem was, they had no idea which way to go. The wind howled through the trees, grass rustled like whispers, and the creaking of the forest filled the air.
I can't stand it anymore. My stomach's been growling this whole time.
Same here. I can't walk any further.
Oh, what I wouldn't give for something to eat.
Anything would do.
As they trudged on, the swaying grass whispered around them. Suddenly they turned, and there it was. A grand Western-style mansion, standing in stark contrast to the forest. Above its gleaming white entrance hung a sign, Restaurant Western Cuisine Wildcat House.
Look, this is perfect. A restaurant, right when we need it most.
It's strange to find something like this out here. But they must have food, right?
Of course. It's written right there on the sign.
Let's go inside. I'm so hungry I might collapse.
The gentleman approached the entrance. The building was magnificent, made of white bricks with shimmering glass doors. Gold letters on the glass read, "Please come in. No need to hesitate."
Wow, this is incredible. After a miserable day, we finally catch a break.
Yeah, and it looks like the food is free. Can you believe that?
No need to hesitate. That's gotta mean it's on the house.
Eagerly, the two pushed the glass doors open and stepped inside. The entrance led to a pristine hallway. On the back of the door, more golden letters gleamed. We especially welcome plump and youthful guests.
See? They're thrilled to have us.
Yeah, we're both young and not exactly thin.
The gentlemen strode down the hallway, their spirits lifted. But before long, they came across another door, painted a soft blue. On it, a new message was written. This establishment is a restaurant of many orders. Please understand and proceed.
Wow, even in the middle of nowhere, this place is doing well.
Yeah, even in Tokyo, you don't see restaurants this fancy.
The two opened the door and stepped through. Behind it was yet another sign. Our orders may take some time, but please bear with us.
What do they mean by that?
Probably just asking us to be patient while they prepare the food.
Fair enough. I just want to sit down already.
But instead, they were met with yet another door. This one had a mirror hanging beside it and a brush resting below. A sign read, Please fix your hair and clean the mud from your shoes before proceeding.
That makes sense. I wasn't exactly presentable back at the entrance.
This place must host some pretty important people.
Obliging, the gentleman cleaned up, but as soon as they placed the brush back, it vanished into thin air. A cold wind whipped through the hallway, sending a shiver down their spines. They exchanged uneasy glances and pushed forward. The next door bore another strange instruction on its back. Please leave your guns and ammunition here. Beside the door stood a sleek black stand gleaming faintly in the dim light.
Well, I guess it makes sense. You can't really enjoy a meal while carrying a rifle.
True. This place really seems to cater to high society.
They unstrapped their rifles and ammunition belts, placing them carefully on the stand. But as they stepped forward, they encountered yet another door, this time with the following words. Please remove your hats, coats, and shoes.
Do we really have to? What's next?
We don't have much choice. Clearly, this is a place for very distinguished guests.
The two gentlemen took off their hats and coats, hanging them neatly on hooks. They slipped off their shoes, now walking barefoot on the cold floor. But the next door's instructions were even more detailed. Kindly remove all metal items, including tie pins, cufflinks, glasses, wallets, and especially any sharp objects. Beside the door stood a polished black safe, its door invitingly open with a key dangling from the lock.
They must use electricity in the kitchen. Metal objects might cause problems. Or maybe it's a safety issue with sharp items.
Yeah, and it seems like we'll pay for our meal here before we leave.
That's probably it.
The gentlemen removed their glasses, tie pins, cufflinks, and wallets, placing everything into the safe. They locked it with a soft click. But just a few steps further, they were greeted by yet another instruction. This time, a large glass jar sat beside the door, filled with a smooth, milky substance. Please apply the cream from this jar to your face, hands, and feet.
Apply cream? What's the point of this?
It's probably because it's so cold outside and the inside is warm. They don't want our skin cracking. See? This place really caters to the elite.
The gentleman reluctantly scooped the cream from the jar, rubbing it onto their faces, hands, and feet. They exchanged uneasy glances but said nothing. With a little cream left over, they snuck quick tastes, pretending to apply it to their skin. When they opened the next door, the instructions continued. Did you remember to apply the cream to your ears? Beside the door sat a smaller jar of cream.
Oh, I forgot about my ears. That could have been bad. These people are so thorough.
Heh, yeah. But honestly, I'm starving. How much longer do we have to wander through these hallways?
They moved on to the next door. In front of it stood a golden perfume bottle, sparkling under soft light. The sign read, "The food is almost ready. Please sprinkle the perfume in this bottle on your head." The gentlemen uncorked the bottle and sprinkled the liquid onto their heads, but as the scent hit their noses, they recoiled.
This smells like vinegar. What kind of perfume is this?
They probably grabbed the wrong bottle. Maybe the staff caught a cold and mixed things up.
When they opened the door, they were greeted by the most alarming message yet. We're sorry for the many orders. This will be the last one. Please rub the salt from the jar into your body. A grand blue porcelain jar filled with coarse salt stood ominously by the door. The gentlemen froze in place, staring at the instructions. Their cream-smeared faces turned ashen.
This is wrong! Something's not right here!
Yeah. These orders, they're not for us to place. They're making demands of us.
Wait, what if this isn't a restaurant for people? What if it's a restaurant for people?
The two began trembling violently, the words catching in their throats.
You mean, we're the ones who are going to be eaten?
Desperately, they tried to force the door behind them open, but it wouldn't budge. Ahead, another door came into view. It had two large keyholes shaped like a fork and knife. Above them, the words glared down. Thank you for your patience. Everything is now ready. Please step inside. Two glowing blue eyes peered out from the keyholes, darting back and forth. The gentlemen screamed in unison.
Ah!
They began sobbing uncontrollably. From behind the door came hushed voices.
Darn it. They figured it out. They're not going to rub the salt on themselves.
Well, that's your fault. Who wrote, "Sorry for the inconvenience" on the sign? What were you thinking?
Whatever, it's not like we get to eat the bones anyway.
True, but if they don't come in, it's our fault.
Hey, guests, come on in. The plates are clean, the veggies are salted. All we need is you. Come on in.
The gentleman stood frozen, trembling as the voices beyond the door grew louder and more insistent.
No! Please help us!
Don't like salad? No problem. We can fry you instead. Or roast you. Whatever you prefer. Just step inside.
Don't cry so much. You're ruining the cream. The boss is already waiting. Napkin tied, knife in hand, licking his lips. What are you waiting for?
Suddenly, a fierce, earth-shaking sound shattered the eerie atmosphere. It was the dogs. The massive white dogs burst through the door with a deafening crash, their snarls filling the air. The glowing blue eyes behind the keyholes vanished instantly, and the voices inside fell silent. The dogs began circling the room, growling menacingly. One let out a thunderous bark, "Woof!" and lunged at the next door, forcing it open with a resounding crack. The dogs disappeared into the dark void beyond. From the shadows came a series of spine-chilling sounds. In an instant, the entire room seemed to dissolve into smoke. The gentlemen found themselves standing in the middle of the forest once again, shivering in the cold. The mysterious restaurant was gone, vanished as though it had never existed. Their belongings, coats, shoes, wallets, and tie pins, were scattered haphazardly across the forest floor and hanging from branches. The wind howled through the trees, the grass rustled, and the forest groaned with eerie creaks.
Phew. The dogs. They saved us.
Yeah, but where are they now?
The dogs soon reappeared, trotting back to their masters with wagging tails and soft growls. At that moment, a voice echoed through the forest.
Masters, sirs, over here!
It was the hunter, crashing through the underbrush, his voice filled with urgency.
Over here! We're here! Hurry!
The hunter rushed to their side, his face a mix of concern and relief. He offered them rice dumplings from his bag, which the gentleman devoured hungrily. The group finally began their journey back to the inn. Along the way, they purchased a mountain bird for 10 yen. Though their stomachs were filled and they returned safely to Tokyo, something was forever changed. The once smooth, composed faces of the two gentlemen remained crumpled, like wrinkled paper. No amount of hot baths or soothing comforts could restore them to their former selves. And so, they carried with them the haunting memory of the restaurant of many orders.